Hi, welcome to this week's episode of How I Choose to Live My Life. My name is Leslie Donaldson. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you would like to please pick up where we left off, it would be helpful so you know what we're talking about today, because today we're going to turn the page. We're going to start a new chapter. So if you'd like to please tune in and catch up, please go to our YouTube channel, ITR Polygraph, and hit videos or even the playlist of How I Choose to Live My Life. Thank you so much. Now, today is a different day. We're going to turn the page. Today is a time where if you were reading a book, we're going to turn the page and start a new chapter. And again, I'm just going to tell you again why I'm holding this seashell, is because it helps me to just remind myself to stay grounded, because I talk a lot of emotional things and I can go all over the place, and because I tape this live and I don't edit anything. I tape it live and it goes straight to YouTube. So please bear with me as we go through this today. So what I'm talking about is when we're turning the chapter, this new series is called Rumor Has It. Rumor has it. And why I have chosen to turn the page and change the name in the story as we go forward is because all the way up until now has been how I chose to live my life. And I shared with you those things, and I shared with you since March, since we started this series, ups and downs and all around, and how we have come to this particular point. So please go back so you know what I'm talking about. But when we have now come to this particular point, my family is seen very differently. I see life very differently. I see my friends very differently, my dad's friends very differently. I see everything very differently. It is not now how I choose to live my life. Now, my life seems to be surrounded by rumors and innuendos and lies and people deceiving people. And so this part of the story, this part of the book is about me sharing what my truth is behind the rumors. So you may have heard the rumors, and you may have your own thoughts on what was going on and what you've heard and so forth. But unless you've heard it come out of my mouth, I'm not sure if you've heard the truth before. I'm not known as a liar, and I'm not a liar, but I've been lied about. My parents have been lied about. Lots have been lied about. And this series is going to get very real, very quick. The people I talk about, and the names I talk about, and the things that I talk about are all documented down at the Edmonton Courthouse. This is a public knowledge. It is also listed on Google. It is listed all over the place. So, I'm not doing anything or saying anything that I'm not able to say. And here's the thing, I wouldn't be saying anything that isn't true. So everything I'm going to talk about is true. This is who the players were, and this is what happened. And the reason I'm saying this is because at that time, in 2007, when this happened, in 2000, I'm going to back up in 2004. In 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, I was a broken bird. I was a wounded, broken bird. And very vulnerable, very naive. And I am not that today. I'm a strong woman. I'm going to tell my story with absolute confidence and strength and courage. And why I'm doing this is because I want to help to strengthen and encourage anybody else who has gone through anything like I'm going to let you know I went through. I want you to know that you can get through this. You will get through this. And especially in a time where we're living in a time of different people's relationships and everything, and what's going to go forward with people's families, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their own lives, their own estate, their own children. And even on this time of social media, what does everybody say about you? And what does people gossip about you? And that's something that I don't ever want to do. If I do not know what is going on with somebody else, I do not want to just make it up and gossip or believe innuendo or believe lies. If somebody is your friend and somebody says something about them, you should probably ask and inquire. So I'm going to leave that and we're going to shift. So the time in the story that we're picking up today with is this. It's February 2005. And my father has let me know that he has a new girlfriend. And that girlfriend is Irene Telfer. But she is married to somebody else of 40 years, John Telfer from Waterloo, Ontario. He has told me that she has said, I will leave my husband and I'm going to come to stay with you in St. Albert. And I want to move into your house and everything. And he's letting me know this. And my dad has me over and tells me these things. And I said, you know, Dad, again, I'm very nervous for you. You're a very wealthy businessman, and I'm very worried about your estate. I believe you should seal up your estate. Dad, you need a new will. Now, my father, again, let me remind you, was one of the original owners of UFL Foods, that is now Newlyweds Foods on the south side of Edmonton. Pardon me. He had a plant in Edmonton and one in Mississauga, Ontario, and he sold his food ingredients all around the world. Some of his products included Mott's Clematis juice, A&W chicken chunks, Van's meats, Gainer's meats, all kinds of stuff. Lipton's noodles and sauce, that is his entire packaging, product, everything. My father helped to create that. My father was a very, very wealthy businessman in food ingredient business, and he was also a rotisserie chef, and he had a certificate for that. My father came from, my father was adopted. His adopted father was Herbert H. Bibby, and sadly he passed away a few years ago. He lived in the Isle of Man with my grandmother, Wendy Bibby, who I still absolutely love and adore and have a relationship with her till this day. My father has very influential English family, of which I'll talk about another day. But it plays a part. And it plays a part of why he was such a prominent businessman and widower that a woman would fancy and would think that he would be a good catch for her. So that's what Irene thought. And so my father said to me, and it was at not the request of just myself. My father valued my Auntie Susan's opinion. He valued my husband Ken's opinion. He valued my opinion. And with the three of us letting him know that we think it is in his best interest that he creates a new will to properly secure his estate for his family and his grandchildren, he said, absolutely, I need to do that. And so he did. He invited us all over to his house and he let us know that he has created a new will with a lawyer that was his lawyer for many, many years. Her name was Karen Racco. She is from, at the time, it was from La Valley Rackle. Now she is with Belzile Rackle. But at the time, it was La Valley Rackle, Karen Rackle. She is a well-known estate lawyer. In fact, I think just recently received an award for being an estate lawyer. No wonder why my father chose her. And then he also told me, he said that he had chosen a professional chartered accountant to be the executor. And the chartered accountant he chose was also somebody that he trusted for many, many years. It was his accountant and also when I say my accountant, I mean the accountant for myself and my husband for many, many years. Even when we did Donaldson's Country Market and for ITR Polygraph. This same accountant worked for myself, Ken and I, and my dad and my mom. And so he chose Brian Farrell. And at that time, it was with Gillespie Farrell, Chartered Accountants, downtown Edmonton. Now Brian Farrell works for Myers Norris Penny. He is one of their top chartered accountants in the Edmonton division. So between Karen Rackle and Brian Farrell, and my dad creating a new will that stated his only two daughters were to receive 50-50 of his estate, I said the famous words, "What could go wrong?" Really? I wish I'd never said that. I wish I'd never made that comment. Because everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. So let's fast forward now. So my father has created this new will and has put the powers that be in place. So now Irene has let us know and let my dad know that she is now going to leave her husband of 40 years and come and move into my mother's house and my father's house, obviously, but she's going to now move into his house. And the issue is, when my father asked Ken and I what we thought, I didn't actually tell the truth. I didn't actually tell the truth. I kind of just let it be a little light until we met her. And so there came the time when she came, and she came only for one weekend. She stayed in the house, in my mom and dad's house. She stayed there. She came to our house in Danforth. Ken made her a delicious meal, probably roast beef. Ken and I were talking about it even today as we were making this video of what did he make. And anybody who's ever come to our house, if you have come and had Ken's roast beef, you know that that is hands down one of the best meals Ken could ever make for you. And so he took great pleasure in making roast beef, gravy, potatoes, vegetables, everything, all the fixings. And she seemed lovely. She seemed like she wanted to put her best foot forward. But to be very truthful, that's not how we felt with her. We felt that there was something that she was holding back, that she wasn't entirely truthful, and she wasn't entirely who she said she was at that time, and we weren't sure. But here's the thing. I was being set up at that time. If I said, after I met her, to my dad, that I didn't like her, what was being said, what the little whispers, the little rumors that we talk about, is that I wasn't going to like anybody my dad was with. Is that the only person that I would ever allow or want to be with my dad was my mom. Is that I wouldn't accept anybody else to be with my mom. But that was a lie. That's not true at all. I wanted my father to be with somebody. But I wanted my father to be with somebody who was true and honest and kind and loving and gentle, like my mom. However, I was hoping for a gift. I was hoping for a gift. And today, when I'm looking for the scripture to read today, it couldn't be more prominent of how I felt. And this is as a documentary of a woman of faith. And I am a woman of faith, but sometimes my faith was used against me. And I'm going to get to that. But this is how I felt. And this is why I gave her a chance. And this is why I truly didn't tell my father. Or Ken told my father what he truly thought. Because we were trying to see Jesus in this story. So bear with me. I'm trying to find my glasses, and the ones on my head are not my reading glasses. So anyways, I'm going to give it a go. This is again from one of my lovely books from Alison Zalaski. Thank you very much. Jesus Calling. And it is June 25th today, the day I'm making this video series. And it says, "Open your hands and your heart to receive this day and a precious gift from me. I begin each day with a sunrise, announcing my radiant presence. By the time you rise from your bed, I have already prepared the way before you. I eagerly await your first conscious thought. I rejoice when you glance my way. Bring me the gift of thanksgiving, which opens your heart to rich communion with me, because I am God, from whom all blessings flow. Thankfulness is the best way to draw near to me. Sing praise songs to me. Tell of my wondrous works. Remember that I take great delight in you. I rejoice over you with singing." You can find that in the Psalms. The numbers are a little hard for me anyway, in the Psalms and in Zephaniah. And I just have to say to you this. When I read this is something that I had these scripture cards. He rejoices over me with singing and a gift. And I'm looking at Irene and I'm hoping that she is this gift. But not all gifts are from God. Thank you for tuning in today. Next week we're going to continue with the new series called Rumor Has It.